Hello, welcome to The Update. I'm Susie Thompson. Melbourne police are waiting to question a man who sent a major CBD street into lockdown. Witnesses say the 52-year-old entered a building with petrol cans, a gas canister and Molotov cocktails, then started throwing the liquids around. It's now been determined the liquids were water, but Acting Senior Sergeant Bonnie Hazelwood says the police had to act quickly.
There were no flammable substances, but we took the initial response for the public safety, which resulted in a temporary lockdown of the city, just isolation, just to make sure that we could confirm what these substances were and just for the safety of everyone.
Legislation will be introduced into New South Wales Parliament to strengthen no body, no parole laws. The proposed bill would mean offenders must cooperate with investigators in disclosing the location of remains for any chance of release on parole. There has been a push for the changes after Chris Dawson was convicted of murdering his wife Lynette more than 40 years ago. Almost 5 million Australians are receiving a boost to their welfare payments. Pensions and carer payments will rise just under $40 a fortnight for singles and $58 for couples. The job seeker rate will rise by about $25 a fortnight. The youth allowance and Austudy rates will remain the same. Australia will support an international push to impose a price cap on Russian oil exports. G7 countries are pushing to limit the price of Russian oil imports to no more than about $60 a barrel. The move is designed to curb Vladimir Putin's ability to fund his invasion of Ukraine. Meantime, locally, we're being told we shouldn't expect petrol prices to jump immediately once the fuel excise ends next week. Petrol stations should have about 700 million litres of the cheaper petrol still in their tanks when the levy resumes. Retailers are also being warned against price gouging. Small businesses are being warned to secure an updated website domain before they're available to the general public. It's the final day for companies to register for the new .au web address. Australia's oldest man has died on the state's south coast. Frank Moore had suffered a recent infection of COVID, which had weakened him. He was living with his son at Central Tilba. Frank was 110. And the Queen's coffin has been lowered into the Royal Vault in a private committal service at Windsor Castle. The royal hearse was watched by hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets as it made its way from London. The Queen's two loyal corgis, Sandy and Mick, were also waiting to say goodbye. In sport, the Sydney Swans have received a massive boost ahead of Saturday's AFL Grand Final against Geelong. Superstar Lance Franklin has signed a one-year extension with the club. Shelley Nitschke has been named the head coach of the Australian women's cricket team for the next 4 years. And defence will be the key to reaching a third consecutive Grand Final, according to Penrith co-captain Nathan Cleary. They'll meet the informed South Sydney on Saturday night at Sydney Olympic Park.
It's very hard to win, especially big games if you're not defending well.
In entertainment news, Kelly Clarkson has unveiled her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It comes 20 years after she won the first season of American Idol. And a scare for Justin and Hailey Bieber. Their security team spotted a guy who managed to break into their backyard in LA, but he fled the scene and the couple wasn't home at the time. That's the latest from the Nova podcast team. We'll see you later on for another update. I'm Susie Thompson.